All right, welcome back to the RetroCult Podcast. I am your host, Chuck. He is your host, Mac. Mac, what's been going on with you this week, man?
Oh, it's been a great weekend so far. We did the ReCollect Toy Show yesterday, and I think we both agree we had a blast. Um, sold some stuff. I thought all in all it was a great day. Had a actually it surprised me. We had what I consider a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, I was Midway is not the biggest place in the world.
Yep,
Um
yep.
and you got a brand new toy shop that has been there for a pretty small amount of time. We had a toy show that it turns out wasn't getting the advertisements in a lot of the toy places on Facebook, and so I was a little concerned there for a while. And when we showed up that morning, we were the only people in there. And I did
Yeah,
see a
yeah.
couple, I saw a couple of tables, but I was like, oh man, this might be kind of small. And it was, I mean, for a toy show, I would say it was very small.
It
Um,
was small, but
but there was a lot of people, man.
yeah, the dealers that did come out all had cool stuff.
Yeah.
The I will say the venue is great. I hope. I know we talked with the owner of Recollect after the show, and he said he is hoping to have another one in the fall. And so maybe maybe that one they'll make sure to get it on the. I know there's a Facebook group for all the North Carolina toy
Yep.
shows. We definitely need to get them on that. We probably should do a little more posting to Instagram and Facebook about it
Yeah.
ahead. Maybe with a little more lead time. I know we've talked about it for a while on the podcast here, but we should. I thought about that yesterday. I'm like, we really should have been posting to Facebook and YouTube posts and
I hit a
Instagram.
few posts on Instagram about the show coming up. But again, I mean, I think with limited followers, it's gonna take a little bit more. But yeah, I if they keep the same table pricing, I don't see why I would not go back in the
No, I
fall.
agree. I agree, and I hope we could get the same location. We were like right in the center of the
Yes.
whole venue, and so there were basically two rows of dealers on either side of us, and we're in the center row with right at
Yep.
the end of it. So anyone coming down either side that wants to cross over to go to the other side has to go right by our
Yeah.
table, and
And
it
they
was
saw
great. Yeah, it
both
was great.
sides of our tables, and I thought it was fun to watch because you would see people that would kind of look at my stuff and then like look over at your table and like immediately zoom over to look at all of the McFarlane figures and your action figure bin. Or they would see the McFarlane stuff and then they would like kind of zoom over and start, going through
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
mess of stuff that I had on my table because mine is so random as it was. So it was
yeah.
neat to see that.
I really the thing for me, the takeaway from the whole show. I mean, we didn't make a ton of money, but we did cover the cost of the table. We made some profit, moved some stuff. Um, all in all, it was a great time, and it was really a learning experience for me because this is the first show I've done. And since basically, I haven't done one of these in like 30 years because the last time I would have done, when I owned Rocket Comics in Burlington back in the early 90s, we would go, there was a flea market in Mebane, North Carolina at that time called the Buckhorn Flea Market. And we would set up out there, with overstock stuff, slow movers, things like that. Because a lot of stuff that would sit on shelves in the store, you'd take it to the flea market, reduce it down a little bit, you'd move it. You'd move it.
Yeah.
So we used to do that fairly regularly. But I had again, that was like 1993, 94 would have been that
Yeah.
time frame. So it's been a long time since I've done this. So this was my first one, and it was a lot of fun. It has given me ideas for things I need to change up to maybe be a little more attractive to more like I was it didn't really hit me until I laid the table out, but I was like, whoa, I'm really DC heavy here. Like I had like everything's like I think I had one Marvel toy on my entire
Yeah.
table other than um the in the loose figure bin, which that
Okay.
was actually the star of our show. The loose figure bin, we were selling loose figures for $5 each or 5 figures for $20. And that, I'll be honest, that's where we really made all the money yesterday. We
Yep.
did sell some things off the table that were some bigger pieces, some Star Wars pieces. Um, that helped make our day too. Um, then at the end of the day, after when we were all packing up, Laura went over to the people from Figure It Out
Yep.
because I had been looking at a Captain Kirk action figure from Star Trek 3, which
Yep.
if you're watching the video podcast, I'm holding it up right now. That it is a beautiful figure.
Yeah, that's awesome,
I
man.
love the thickness on the Ertl cards, man. This card is rock solid to be as old as it is. And then I don't know if you can see the back. I
A
mean, it's
little
just
bit,
plain
yeah.
black and white artwork, but I love it. I'd love to find the Excelsior because these would have been die cast.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I know I had the diecast Ertl Enterprise from the motion picture, but I'd love to find like all three of these, Bird of Prey and the Excelsior.
So there
And
are
so
only 4
now
figures?
there were only 4 figures.
My
And
gosh, dude,
what's
you gotta
weird,
get the
they
whole
did
set now.
Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, the Klingon leader, Commander Krug, and they did Scotty, which is weird that they didn't do McCoy. And then if you
Weird.
look at the artwork on the front, they only show Kirk, Spock, and Krug.
Yeah.
But I
Well, I
will
mean,
at least say the artwork, the facial likenesses on the artwork, the Shatner is a little off, but they got Christopher Lloyd spot on
yeah, they nailed
with that
that.
art, and Leonard Nimoy. And I'll be honest, the figure looks nice. You know, considering Ertl was more known for doing die cast, this is a plastic figure, not a die cast.
Yeah.
It uses the ball and pin joints like the GI Joes at the time. So, and I would say it's about the same scale as the GI Joes.
I would say it's pretty
Um,
close, yeah.
I would say my biggest criticism of this figure is that he only comes with a communicator. He doesn't have a phaser. So that's a little disappointing. But anyway, I'm not going to open him anyway.
No.
So it doesn't matter. But actually, Laura went over and a couple of Cobra bats and a Cobra Viper sacrificed their lives so that Captain Kirk could come live with me.
Well,
So
while you were chatting, I just happened to pull some of them up. I'm just kind of looking at eBay, and right now there's Kirk and Spock at a buy it now that's ridiculously cheap,
oh,
and
you
you
have to
could
send that
probably,
to me. Yeah.
yeah, I that is I'm sure now that I've clicked on it, I'm going to get
You're
800.
gonna you might actually get a deal.
I'll get a deal on
You'll
it,
get
but
an offer. You'll get an offer.
oh my gosh, that's such a long link. But yeah, no, I that was something. As soon as I saw that in the case, that let me to know that was the people from Figure It Out, that and the Hulk
Yeah.
figure. I was like, oh, I've seen. There's no way this is coincidence. I've seen both of these figures in their shop.
Hmm.
And I just happened to ask because I mean they were very heavy on the wrestling figures and GI Joe stuff, which is what that store is all about. The
Yep.
only thing I didn't really see, I mean, they had a little bit there was their Star Wars, and they do have a very good Star Wars collection there too. Um, so yeah, it was.
They had a loose superpowers Batman that was in like perfect condition.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have. I thought about asking for it, but I'll be honest, I really didn't do a lot of shopping yesterday. I was really, I did look around at all the other dealers, saw a lot of cool stuff, but I was like, this whole week. Well, I would even say the past couple of weeks, I've been so fixated on putting stuff aside and making sure that I have actually kind of like stopped as far as new stuff coming in,
okay.
which is probably what I need. That's what I need. I kind of need a moratorium till I can get things more organized to make sure that um, because like I said, after the show yesterday, I've thought about it all evening and today, just, oh, I need to do this and this. Like I did love the bin, the loose figure bin really did draw some
Yeah,
people to the table. So I'm like, I want to kind of expand that. I didn't really have, that was also very superhero heavy, although that was
it
a
was.
better mix because it was Marvel, DC,
Yep.
A lot of video game themed figures were in there, like Fortnite. There were some Call of Duty figures from a bit
Yeah.
back. Um, One of our new friends, Jeff, who is helping out at ReCollect, I think he had a table set up too.
Yeah.
Or was he running the ReCollect table, or was
No,
that
he
his
had like
table?
the I think that was his table of Joe stuff. I think those were his because even in the Recollect store on the right hand side, I guess he rents that out and those are his things.
Right, because he does all the cool T-shirts and hats and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And his prices were super reasonable. If he had
Yes, they
had
were.
the Cobra, if he had had the Cobra T-shirt in my size, I definitely would have bought it. And I told him, I said, please let me know. He's actually going to help us out to do RetroCult T-shirts.
I think that's gonna be
So
cool.
he's got some connections with screen printers and everything. So I think we can get some affordable shirts. Because the next show we do, I'd love to wear a retro cult shirt,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
even take some. We might be able to sell some, if we can get the price cheap enough.
If they're not
Um,
bad, yeah.
yeah. And so, it was great meeting him, but he's a G.I. Joe classifieds guy. And he looked through the bin and he asked if I had any G.I. Joe classifieds in the bin. I said, yeah, I know that there's at least a Cobra infantry soldier. And he's like, oh, really? Where? And we started digging through. And he's like, I buy them when I can buy them cheap like this, because then if they're cheap enough, I'll keep them. And I thought that was funny. That's kind of the philosophy I need to get to now, because now I'm in like sell mode. Like I want to, because now I'm already rethinking of going up to the comic room and starting to, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got things on pegs I need to go through and get ready to sell. I do want to you have such a sweet spot with all the vintage stuff. I'm like, I need to kind of expand my, except a lot of the vintage. Here's my problem with the vintage stuff is that's the stuff I want. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, see, you're smart about it. You're out there hunting all the time, and you're buying things kind of with the idea that this is cool, but I'm not necessarily going to keep it. Like this is inventory, and I need to start getting that mindset again, because a lot of the old stuff I buy, I'm buying it exclusively. Ooh, like I'm holding on to this. And that's the problem. Like a lot of the vintage stuff I have right now, I really wouldn't want to part with.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, there's everything that I have I think is awesome and I want to keep it.
Yeah.
But then I mean, I probably would have never put that $6 million man projector even sitting on the shelf. It's cool, but there's somebody else out there that like that's their jam, and I'd rather that they
Yes.
have it.
Yeah.
And so if I can find stuff, and again, it's got to be the right price. I mean, I can find stuff every day that's like, outrageous. But if I can find stuff that is in that right spot, and then I know that I can go to one of these toy shows and do that. I like to do that. I've got stuff on the Facebook Marketplace, but it's really not attractive to like get in the car and drive down to Food Line and meet somebody for a $10 action figure.
No,
That's just
you're
it's
right.
it's it's kind of not worth it. So
I
I
actually have
don't.
put a couple of things I took to the show that didn't sell. I've already put those on Facebook Marketplace. No bites yet. We'll see
Yeah,
if I get any traction on there. But I am going to try to start doing more Facebook Marketplace stuff. Um, but I'm really excited. I don't know what the next thing we might do will be. I have a feeling, probably, I'm guessing a Nerd Underground event's probably the next thing that'll probably
I
come
would just
up.
wish they were inside. I mean, it,
Oh
it
God, yeah.
is it is so hot. Even if you sit in the shade in the summertime, it's just not even. I mean, even today, as cool as today was, when the sun came out from behind those clouds,
It gets hot fast
it
because
just
and
got
the
hot.
humidity's up too. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was just like, this is not fun.
yeah.
And so being inside, and I know that sounds like so lazy and everything, but I mean,
I don't think
your
so.
your your toys start sweating, like the
Hmm.
condensation inside and outside of the packages is doing nothing but messing up your figures or your
Oh no, yeah.
records. and
Yeah.
records can only be at a certain temperature. So like I would love to find more ways to do these toy things inside. And even if that meant having to pay a little bit for a table, as
No,
opposed to
I
sitting up in a
certainly
hot
think
parking
it,
lot.
it all depends on table pricing. I think we should definitely, again, going back to that Facebook toy show guide that's on, or group, definitely we should start looking at some of those upcoming. I mean, even if we had to drive to, I mean, I'd be willing to drive maybe to Raleigh or to Charlotte
Okay.
for one or something like that. Um, it would all depend on table pricing because, like yesterday, the table prices were low
Right.
enough that
Yeah.
it didn't take a whole lot to at least make your money back covering the table.
Yeah, and that's I when I talked to Curtis about that when he first was kind of throwing the idea of the show out. His big thing was that I mean, I think he's been doing toys and things like this his whole life. And he said that he's got to keep the table price down because he feels like a lot of the times that, he's gone to these toy shows and kind of just made the money back to pay for the table space.
Yeah.
And then and he's like, it's not worth it. And so, I think recognizing that you're not a Comic Con, you're a small little place in Midway, or you're a tiny little thing here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to try to go to some massive toy show. Like, I don't think I would try to rent a table at the one that when it comes to Winston. I bet the table rentals there are crazy.
You'd be surprised because that's run by Inside Pitch, and I
Yeah.
have actually contacted them before,
Okay.
and because there was that they do them all over North Carolina,
Yes.
and like I think they just recently did the Hickory toy show like
Yep.
a week or so ago. I think Todd Venture went to that one,
Okay.
and I had investigated that. I think last year we had talked about getting a table, and I had contacted them, and I want to say their tables were like $80 a piece.
Okay.
So it wasn't terrible. Then that was the Hickory, and I'm sure it depends on which show. Like I'm looking at their website now. Their next show is Raleigh. I bet that one's going to be more expensive because you're
Man.
going to bigger market.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really active show. So that one probably is a little more expensive, but I need to really, after doing this, I mean, it's kind of gave me that comic book retailer itch because we actually had some people ask us if we had any comics,
Yeah. I know.
and
I
and I
think you would
did,
have
and
made
I
a ton of
just
money.
didn't have the comics. I didn't
Yep.
have the comics ready to take yet, so I don't have them. I'm in that process of organizing the collection and making progress with it, but I just I need to dig in and figure out what's show inventory and what's collection. That's the thing I've got to really work on.
Hey,
Um,
is there an app out there that kind of quickly scans a comic and lets you know what it's worth? Or because I mean, I know people
well,
like use Google Lens, and it's like Google Lens gives you prices that aren't
well, no,
perfect.
I would highly recommend CLZ Comics.
Okay.
Actually, the name of the company is Collectors with a
Okay.
Z, and they make apps for keeping track of DVDs, movies,
Yeah.
VHS, anything. They do books and they do comics. The comic
Awesome.
app, I use all three. I'm actually because the subscriptions are like $1.99 a month to
Okay.
subscribe to their service because they're always keeping it up to date with the
Okay.
latest things coming out. Um, well worth it. I would highly recommend it. I use it, and the comic app is by far the best out of all of them. They also make they make a record one too. They make one to
Okay.
keep track of CDs, albums,
Okay.
cassettes, all of that music, basically. Um, the comic one by far, from my experience, is by far the best because
Okay.
there with that one you have so many ways to enter new comics. Um, you can type it manually if you want to look
Yeah.
it up by title. You can scan the barcode, but of course, not every old comic has a
No.
barcode or
Yeah.
whatever. But the killer feature for this app, you can scan the cover and it will just
Okay.
look it up, and then it will. And if it finds multiple ones, it'll give you a selection, and you choose the one you want. Now, as far as pricing and value, their app by itself doesn't actually contain value. It's one of those set up for you to enter. Like you can enter what you paid, you can enter
Yes.
what you sold it for, because it allows you to keep track of your collection by whether you want it. Like you can scan comics in that you or look up comics that you don't even have and just add them to your want list. And that's what I
Okay.
do. I actually have my wish list in the app.
Okay.
Then it has what's in your collection, and then you can also change things to for sale. Like so that would, like, as I move stuff into my inventory or to my show inventory, I'll actually change the status in the app to for sale. And then once
Okay.
I sell it, it's sold. You can mark it sold, and you can
All
enter a
right.
price that you sold it for. But they do offer a service for an additional subscription. Of course, it's not free, but they do. I don't even think it's their service. I think they partnered with another company. But you can add a subscription to the app so that when you scan the comic and add it, you can feed in some details about the condition, and it will
Yeah.
give you. Well, actually, I think if you just scan it in, it will give you essentially the price guide for it. So it'll show you the price, like if it's mint, it's this; if it's very
Yeah.
fine, it's this, and all this. And then you can actually say, well, the copy I have is very fine, or it's near mint, or whatever, and then it will assign that current value to the thing. So you
Okay.
can get that. I actually right now am not as concerned with the pricing on the comics, just because a lot of the comics I'm going to be taking to the show probably not going to be taking like a lot of expensive keys or things like that. Most of the comics I'm going to be trying to deal with at the show are going to be in the $10 would be probably top of the range of anything
Gotcha.
I'm taking. A lot of the I'm going to kind of do with the comics like with the action figures. I'm going to try to keep the prices low enough to attract people to just get a lot of turnover if I can. And
Yep.
that, so I mean, eventually, as we do this more, hey, maybe we will start selling more keys and doing comic conventions,
Yeah. I mean,
as
I'm just
well as
thinking
toy
like,
shows.
like I know before the show we were talking about some comics that I'd come across today, and I couldn't get a hold of you because again, with no cell service, I probably wouldn't have been able to use an app anyway. But like looking at the price of a comic, is it worth something picking up and then putting it into, like into a bag and buying it in hopes of flipping it? Sometimes for me, I need to look that up,
Yeah,
because I just don't. I mean, obviously, like if I see something insane that I know is already worth a lot of money, I'm going to know that. But then
yeah,
there's some things that I might gloss over. Like I don't know I didn't even know what that was. I just flipped right past it. So
yeah.
it would be nice as I come across these comic book collections and the stores that I go into and I'm looking through there, they're lower price, or even when we hit like Keymaster and roll through the dollar bin, some of those are not worth a dollar. They're worth more than that.
Oh
Um,
no, yeah, and that's kind of what I would like to do with my comics for the shows. Is I'm not trying to necessarily squeeze every dime out of every book, in
yeah.
that I want to put things in there too that will excite people too, and give them a bargain. Like, oh,
Oh
that
yeah.
this is a great comic, and kind of like you just said, oh man, this comic's worth $10, but they're asking $5 for it or something like
That's all.
that.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking
Yeah.
for. But I don't want to buy them for a dollar and it be worth a dollar. Like
Well, no, no,
I'm
that's true
losing money in.
too. I will say I was going to look up on the CLZ app really quickly. I want to
Sure.
say, as this goes on and we do more of these things, I may look into adding that subscription, because that would probably be useful, especially as you're out looking at comics, to actually just scan the cover and immediately see what the price guide
Yeah,
range.
that's kind of what I need, is something I can kind of hammer out very fast.
Yeah,
Like
and
today, I picked up an action figure and I was
you've
like,
seen me
I
use
already
it
know
all
it's
the
worth.
you've seen me
Oh
use it
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time. Yeah. Um, but what I was going to look up, I actually think another neat feature of this, I just want to make sure I'm remembering it correctly, is let's see.
Action. See, they actually do. They keep like a database core. So anytime you go into an individual comic, you can actually update key info. And here's the update values thing. And this is where it comes up with, well, you have to have this subscription for it. So
Yes.
you can
Yes.
update. The name of the service is Cover Price,
Okay.
COVR price without the
Yeah.
second E. Um, there is, oh yeah, here we go. This is the feature I want to tell you about. Uh, when you scan a comic in, it immediately, once it's in your database, it gives you a link at the bottom and it will take you right to sold on eBay for that
Oh,
comic.
well, I mean, if that's free, that's kind of quick and
That's a
easy.
free that's a free feature.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
That
that
will
might be the
immediately go to, any values. Now in this case, it didn't find any that had
okay.
recently sold of that comic book. But yeah, that is a neat feature, and so that might be useful too, where you could where like I was just gonna pull up another one, just another comic really quickly. Something I know that's probably gonna have sold at least recently. So yeah, it immediately took me to the sold recently page for this Adventures of Superman comic, and I can
Okay.
immediately see this one has recently sold for as little as $2 and as much as $10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to try this out because I've done this before.
Well, I'll send you a
Um,
link to the app.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done this before with my Marks figures. I took a video of the Marks figures and plugged that into Chat GPT and said, "Help me figure out which ones are on the higher end of the collection." And it actually tiered them all from the top down to the bottom. And now it didn't get into super specific prices. It gave ranges of what they were. But I think, if I were to, you know, put something in and give it some parameters, it might be to do that for me kind of quickly as well.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I'm just kind of thinking outside the box here because there's just some things that I do know a little bit about, and then there's some times when it's like I'm just really out of my wheelhouse because I don't know.
No, I get it. And that's why, yeah, I love this app just because it is so easy to use for managing my collection. Like right at a time like this, when I get new comics in, like I've just brought some comics home or something,
Yep.
I'll immediately just sit down. It takes me like, if depending on how many comics I have, it can take as little as a minute to, even if I've got a huge stack of comics. If I'm just focused on scanning and adding to the to my collection, in a few minutes, it's I've gone through all of them. I don't have to
Yeah.
scan barcodes. I don't have to. Every now and then you'll hit something it doesn't recognize or something. But I will say I have 99.9% of the time it finds what you're scanning.
Yeah. I mean, it's neat though. I mean, because I think we all have our little niche that we're really good at. I know that I think like right across from us, to I guess depending on which way you're looking, but Keith, he was selling all the wrestling
Yeah,
figures.
yeah, yeah.
He, I mean, outside of wrestling figures, I'm not too sure that he would have been able to tell you, what a comic was worth or what a GI Joe classified should be sold for. But if you had a question about a wrestling figure,
No, he knew
he
it.
was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, dude!" Like he was just spouting off about this Remco figure and when it was made and why it's worth so much money and why they're valuable. And even with a broken arm, it's still worth $200 because you can't
Oh
get them
yeah.
anymore. And how this Road Warrior is usually missing this teeny tiny little piece. It was just neat talking to him. And like the GI Joe guys,
No,
he seemed to know everything
now
about
that
that.
you mention it, there really was a lot of specialization among the dealers
There
there
were
for because
Transformers. Yeah.
yeah, well, you had the Transformers guy, you had the
Yep.
Star Wars guy behind Keith. Keith definitely
Yeah.
had the wrestling figures on lock, and then you had uh I I believe if
Dalton.
I get his name wrong, Dylan, I think, or
Dalton.
Dalton. Dalton,
Dalton had the
he was
Teenage
the
Mutant Ninja
Teenage
Turtles.
Mutant Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
guy, and, yeah, it was so fun talking to those guys.
Yeah.
And then, of
I'm
course,
shocked
Jeff,
he
he
didn't
was
sell out.
J and then Jeff, he's GI Joe.
Yeah.
Uh, Although I will say the best thing Jeff did yesterday was introduce us to that screwhead video from Robot
Yeah,
Chicken.
I'm glad that I was able to trade that at the very end. I just took the drill head over
Oh,
or screw
somebody
head.
did? Did
No,
somebody? Oh, you took it to him?
I took it to him and I just handed it to Cassandra and I was like, "Hey man, whatever she wants, just make a trade. Just make a trade for whatever GI Joe. I don't care if we lose money because as happy as that action figure made him. Now there's a little part of me that wants to find that again so I can throw it on the shelf because now I know about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but he needed that. I don't think that action figure should have left in my collection because
No,
that was something
I
that meant even if something's dumb as a cartoon or whatever you want to call Robot Chicken, like he needed to have that.
yeah.
That's cool that he and like just like you should have left with the Kirk. That was meant to be in your collection.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
was the
glad you were to
one
get it.
thing all day long. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of shopping at the show. I took kind of one lap around and kind of looked through everything,
Yep.
and once I became aware of the Kirk, I will admit, and this happens to me a lot, I became fixated on it. Like I kept going back and looking at it. I bet I walked over there and looked at that thing 10 times throughout the day. And then I finally and that's why Laura, when we were packing up, Laura's like,
Yep.
you ought to take some stuff over there and and see if they want to do a trade because they have a lot of GI Joe stuff. Maybe they would because we had a couple of GI Joe classified
Yep.
bats because I got a little crazy with my bat collecting a few
Yeah.
years ago. I'm trying to army build here, I guess, but I think I had two of the Python Patrol bats and a uh, Python Patrol Viper, and so I was talking to Dalton at that time, and I was like, you know what, you're better with people because she is a people person.
She is definitely.
She's never met a stranger. She will talk
Nope.
to anybody, and so she actually said okay. So she took all three over, and I was still talking to Dalton. She comes back a few minutes later and she goes, "Here you go, honey." She's like, "Was that a
Yeah.
good deal?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I would have done
I
that.
mean,
I would." Yeah.
immediately when I walked in, it's same guy,
Yep.
same
Yeah. Oh
guy.
yeah.
I mean, as soon as I saw that, out of everything in the whole place, that was the one thing that was like, I can't.
That's the Amigo pocket figure.
Pocket Pals, yeah. I
Oh,
was like, I can't leave without
Pocket
that.
Heroes, I think is what they're
Something
called.
like that. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't live without that. I have to have that Hulk. And so, I didn't go and buy it immediately. I was like, number one, I want to make sure I made enough money before I go over there and buy it.
Yep.
And I waited until the very end of the show and I went up. I was like, cut me a good deal on it. And I mean, I would pay what I paid for him every single. And if I ever found another one, I would buy it again, even though I have one, and I would buy
The
another one.
Yeah. Well, and that's why now that I have this is kind of like, I think we've talked on the show before that I am trying to get a complete set, all the aliens and crew
Yep.
of Star Trek Next Generation from Galoob, from their brief
Yep.
holding of the Star Trek license. Well, now that again that I've looked on the back of this card and see there are only four figures, I'm like, yes, I'm going to find the other
That,
three and get
that
this
video I
set.
sent earlier today on Instagram, man, as soon as I saw the completionist, I was
Yeah,
like, oh, that's Mac.
yeah,
Like,
got to get the
what do
rest
you
of it.
mean I'm missing number 36?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing. I was born, at the wrong time for Pokemon. Like I'm not into Pokemon. Logan, my son, he's really into
yeah.
Pokemon. He grew up with it. He's in his 30s now. He still loves Pokemon stuff. But I will say that Pokemon kind of sums up my attitude in that you got to catch them all,
Oh,
and that is my whole collecting philosophy. Is
hey,
I and it does it to my detriment sometimes.
no, it's so much fun, man. Like
Yeah.
today, I found another Fisher Price adventure person. Very excited to throw that on the shelf. I just saw the Collectors Confluence guys
Yeah. I
added.
need to send you I was watching a Toy Polloi video the other day. He has a second channel where he
Okay.
does unboxings of stuff that people send him or that he orders. Like he orders from, there's a site in Japan where you can order Japanese exclusive toys that
Yeah.
are not sold anywhere else, and you kind of have to live in Japan. But this website
Yep.
will buy the stuff for you and kind of hold it till the shipping becomes reasonable enough.
Hey, they're
And
smart.
yeah, it sounds like a great business model, and he finds so much neat stuff. But in one of his recent donation videos, one of his viewers had shipped him a box of stuff, and it was a bag full of adventure people.
Oh
And he
man.
was just going through all of them. Some of them needed work. He was even saying he was going to repair some of them, but they were overall in pretty good shape. I'll send you that video because it's when I was watching,
Yeah.
I was like, I got to send this to Chuck because he might not like watching it because he's going to be, I want those.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I love it, man. I've really realized recently that even some of the most loved toys, like I kind of like them better than the carded stuff. I love your carded Kirk. Would
Yeah.
I
Oh
like
yeah.
to have everything? Absolutely. But like when I get some of these action figures and I see the wear and the tear, you can tell like this thing has been played with. It has had a great life of a toy. And like there was a Storm Shadow. I probably should have bought him. He looked horrible, but
Well,
you could tell he had been in the dirt. He had been outside. He'd been dropped from tree branches. Like he had a good life as a GI Joe.
Well,
Now,
since these are in the same scale and everything, because you can tell they were totally ripping off GI Joe.
oh
For
yeah,
the like, this was the popular figure size,
yeah,
articulation, everything. Um, since you sent me that one with the cheap Spock and another Kirk, maybe I would open one of the Kirks now.
yes,
But see,
yeah,
what I need to do is I want to get an original Cobra Commander figure and then have that displayed on my shelf with Kirk doing the Kirk Kung Fu chop
nice,
to Cobra
yeah,
Commander's neck.
yeah.
Got it, got it.
Um,
Yeah, you just gave me some ideas, and that was a great deal on that. I may be pulling the trigger on that.
hey man, that I honestly, I mean, I know you want to open him, but I think if you put that on the table, you would get your money. It basically get Spock for free.
Yeah, 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 you're
I
right. I
really
mean,
do.
I would probably hold on to him and he'd go to inventory.
Yeah,
See, this is why I've got to get this mindset of sell, not buy.
but
Because,
I
like I
mean,
said, my immediate thought was, ooh, if I had a loose one of these and I could get a loose Cobra Commander, I could do a
yeah,
fun little mashup there.
but we're not. I mean, we don't. That's not our thing. Like we don't
Yeah.
sell to we when we like to sell toys, and I like to go to these shows. I have a great time, but it's not our. That's not our thing. I mean, we just happen to do that every once in a while when we can. Um, but I mean, like it's that'd be very tempting
Yeah.
to keep it as well. I will say this, and I said it to him because he made some comments on our Instagram page. Uh, Dalton was a breath of fresh air, man,
Yeah.
because everybody else in that building that were selling things had gray hairs and
Yeah,
hurting knees.
they were all our age or older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he is a young kid, and he's just kind of getting into the game. He definitely his likes are a little bit past ours. I think he grew up in that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's great. That part doesn't matter to me. Because it's the Star Wars and those kind of things and the GI Joes. That's going to start fading eventually because people are going to want other toys
Yeah.
from the 2000s because even some of those things. I mean, like you've got a 2000 toy. It's 26 years old at this point.
Uh-huh.
And because I mean, even some of those video games that I had, like some of the people that stopped was like, "Oh my god!" Like I used to play this when I was in fifth grade. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like what the?
I know.
Oh,
Really, thanks. I played it in college.
exactly. And so
Yeah.
I mean, but it's Dalton was great, man. He was just so passionate about, and just asked like a million questions, like,
Oh
"What
yeah,
should I
yeah.
do about this?" and "How should I do this?"
He actually came over at the end of the show and was asking if we had any Ben 10 figures, and I was like, it's funny you mentioned that. I do. I just didn't bring them to the show. I really, actually, they are in a box of figures for a video that I had planned to do a long time ago. And it's just one of those things. This one, talking about how long ago it was, this was before we had moved into our house. We were still
Oh,
living in
wow.
Walkertown at the time. So it's been like over 3 years. But I had
Yeah.
put these figures aside because I was going to do a video. And because I told him something, and I think he thought it was cool. Um, because we were talking, and I told him about, I used to have a comic shop, and that's why most of my stuff that I have is superhero related in some way or another, because I
Yeah.
am a longtime superhero comic book reader. I like to read a lot of other comic books, but superheroes are really my main thing. And um, he was asking about the Ben 10 figures, and I was like, I used to love the Ben 10 cartoon. My son, when he was younger, he watched it, he enjoyed it, but I really got a kick out of it because I remember back in the 60s, in the Silver Age, DC actually came out with a comic called Dial H for Hero. And it's essentially the premise of Ben 10, in that there's a hero who gets there's a guy, just a regular guy, who gets a magical dial that when he dials it a certain way, he becomes a different superhero with different powers and everything. And so he's like it's actually kind of played for comedy in the comics, because it actually reminded me another later TV show from the 80s, uh The Greatest American Hero, also reminded me a little bit of that, in that the main character in Dial H for Hero doesn't really know how to use it. He doesn't really know how to use the dial effectively. So he's always
Okay.
bumbling in. He's always winning by accident and stuff like that. And so it's played for laughs mostly, but it's still, I remember when the Ben 10 cartoon first showed up, I was like, this is Dial H for Hero. That's what this is. Just done in a cool, I will say, in a cooler way.
Okay.
Because like I love Ben 10 becomes, I love the different forms Ben can take, as or because they become kind of aliens. It's also got a little bit of a Captain Marvel, Billy Batson vibe going, where he literally kind of switches places with these alien beings. I mean, it's got a little bit of that in it. But anyway, that's why I always liked Ben 10. But I had found these Ben 10 figures, and I was like, I think I have a full set of at least Ben and all the major forms he could take. And I was going to shoot a video talking about how this is cool. This is kind of a throwback to this old DC comic, Dial H for Heroes and all that. Never did the video. And they're still sitting in a box upstairs. I know exactly where they are. So I told him I would, if he was interested, I'll take some pictures and shoot them to him and see if he's interested in them or not.
Yeah, he's I mean, just you can find him on the Instagram page because he
Yeah,
just
I'll go
started
look.
following us.
I'll go check.
So yeah,
I
I
should
think he
shoot
would
that
be.
video. I should still shoot that video because that's still, I think, a good
Yeah.
idea for a video.
Um,
I actually have a video I'm working on. I'll be actually filming the last bit of it tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get it edited and post up this week. That I'm not even going to tell you what it's about because I want it to be a surprise. Because I think I'm excited about this one. It's just some things came together really cool, and it's gonna be kind of it's gonna be a examination of not new versus old, but something old that's been redone as a new thing, and I'm gonna do kind of a comparison video. So I think I want that. I'm excited about it. Like I said, I'm gonna work on it tomorrow, and
okay.
I don't know if the editing will be done tomorrow. That's I've said this a million times. I got to get an editor at some point, or work with an editor, because I'm
Yeah.
just too slow and not good at it.
Yeah. I think I know that when I started doing some stuff at school, with certain things that it was annoying and it took forever and I hated the editing of it and that really kind of made me not want to do it.
Yeah.
But the more and the more and the more that I did it, I started to remember the mistakes that I had made. I learned from those. I learned new things that made the process go faster, and it became a very fluid process after a while. I think if we again try to get on some kind of a consistent, it's almost like the podcast. If we get on some kind of a consistent roll
Yep.
where we have a very specific day where we just block off some time, we knock out 1 2 3 videos and we have them posted 3 days, 3 different times,
Yep.
knowing that next Sunday we've got to film 3 more. If we
Well,
start doing that
that's
on a consistent basis, I think we'll eventually be
Oh,
like,
we'll
okay,
certainly
this is
get
much
some more
easier.
traction. I agree. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm actually have been part of the thing I've been focusing on for a while now is just I was kind of overcomplicating my videos, and
Yeah,
that's what I think I hated that's why I kind of hated the I hate to say this because I really love making the videos and everything, but the process of getting it ready to actually post without just posting raw footage up to YouTube, um,
yeah.
it's a beast. It can be. I'm not great at it. I've watched a lot of videos trying to get better at it.
We're gonna get there, man.
It's just a really complicated process sometimes. And so what I've tried to do is I'm trying to get my videos to a point to where I can shoot videos that require the minimum amount of editing, where I can just drop it in, kind of like with the podcast. Now I've really got that down so that by the time you send me the video version of the podcast, it literally only takes me a few minutes for the video to be ready to go to YouTube because I have a template set up in VN. I
Yep,
drop the video in. It's got an intro and an outro already in place. I export it and I just load it up. And so then the next thing just becomes doing a good description and a name for the video, that kind of thing.
yep,
So um, that's why I think we've gotten the podcast going pretty smoothly now. Like now that we've kind of, I think we ended up landing on like a Wednesday publishing day
yeah,
because that gives us a day or two between recording and publishing to actually get it up there. So, and that's
yep,
plenty of time. Like with the process I've got going right now, like I said, it only takes a few minutes. Um, so anyway, so I'm hoping to get that same kind of production line going with actual videos for YouTube. And so I'm going, like I said, we'll see. I'm working on this one video now. I'm like I said, I should have all the footage done tomorrow, and if I have time, I'll get the editing finished tomorrow too, and have it ready to drop either Tuesday or later in the week sometime. That's what I agree with you. I think we should try to get on some kind of schedule where we're shooting a few videos back to back, and then we can
yeah,
drop them like every other day or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or we could do Tuesday, Thursdays if we don't want to conflict with the podcast, like having the podcast drop to YouTube on Wednesday, that kind of thing.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better, and I there's some mistakes that I've made here and there on Instagram, but I've gotten better at posting to our Instagram.
Oh, you're doing great. Yeah, I know the Instagram views are blowing up. I'm really
Yeah, and
excited
that's
about that.
those are so. I wish YouTube was that easy. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not doing. I mean, sometimes it's like a picture of a figure, and you throw a music background and you hit send. I mean, it's that part's easy. The mistake that I keep making is I forget to scroll to the bottom and turn off the posting to your Facebook page
Oh.
because
So, th-
Cassandra's like, "You're posting to Mac's Facebook again." I'm like, "No,
oh, to my
I,
Facebook page or to? Oh,
yeah,
that's right,
no,
because
to
it's the
yours."
RetroCult account and it's linked to my.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Hey, that's
I have to
You know what?
purposely go in.
That is fine. I had wondered why. Now that you mentioned that, I had noticed a lot of Facebook notifications where relatives of mine are like, they liked your reel from, and I was like, how are they seeing this? And I get it now. I get it now.
Yeah, Yeah, well,
Oh,
I hope they like the Hulk and Adventure People and
hey,
everything else
apparently
because
they do because I've been getting a lot of likes from like,
hey, all right.
family members liking these reels. So if you, hey, I wouldn't sweat it.
I
I
I try
wouldn't
to
sweat
remember
it.
that to not, but that's the big mistake that I make is it does that, but I have to I've kind of gotten a lot better the last few times to like scroll down to the bottom to make sure I don't do that. But no, it was I the toy show was great, man. I again I learned a lot.
Oh,
And
I
even
did too.
today
Like I said,
when
I'm
I was
excited
out,
for us to
yeah,
find another one.
yeah, I think I'm going to invest a little bit into some better packaging
Hmm.
for my figures. I know just in chatting with you, I need to get like a magazine box for comics to keep my magazines and comic and like coloring books and all that stuff to make
Yeah,
it easier
I
for
can
people to
certainly
go
help you
through.
out with all of that. Like that Batman and Robin puzzle, like that definitely needs like a magazine bag to kind of go
Yeah, I
in.
gotta get I
And
need to
so
get
that the
magazine backs and boards.
because I
Yeah.
noticed that one time somebody was going through your games and I guess knocked the pieces
Yes, you
out
just
of it.
knocked it
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll get that all worked out. Actually, other stuff I'm looking like I was even thinking in the comic book room I have the comic spinner rack, but that one's like an old school spinner rack.
Yeah, speaking
It's
of your
made of
spinner
like
rack,
steel
yes, speaking
and
of
it
the spinner
weighs too
rack,
much. Yeah.
yeah, I that's definitely one of those things. And I'll be honest with you, where you bought that spinner rack, it would not surprise me if it's not the same one that came out of the it's like real close to there. There's a pharmacy slash restaurant slash store. I don't, it's called Hicks
Yeah.
Pharmacy. It that's where I got tons of comics. You probably have the spinner rack that I bought most of my comics from as a kid.
Well,
That's
that would be cool if that is the case.
I mean, because but where you bought it was from the same town, and it probably came out of the pharmacy. But that's one thing of yours that I would love to eventually get and put in the house. But it
I
has
do
to be the same thing.
I do see them occasionally of that style with the Hey Kids comics
It's
thing at
got
the
to be
top
that.
and everything.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye out. If I can find another good one at a good price, I'll make sure you get it. What I would like to buy is they do make newer spinner racks that are
I've seen them.
lighter. They're made of
Yes.
aluminum and stuff like that. I would love to buy one of those eventually for a show like this because I think that would be cool to have comics. They even make
Yes.
them. Actually,
I
it's
want it for books. My paperback
we
books.
were recently at Barnes and Noble in Winston, and they actually have one of those paperback spinner rack shelves in their science fiction section.
Yeah.
And because I even commented on it to Laura the last time we were there, I was like, considering that mass market paperbacks have officially been discontinued, they're no longer going to be made or distributed. I'm like, like, who do I talk to at Barnes and Noble about buying that thing? Because
You just I
it's very plain. It's brown. It's
yeah.
just brown aluminum, like and it's got slots on four sides and it spins
Yep.
with four and it's perfect for mass market paperbacks. That's what they even have on it right now. But I'm like, well, if they're no long if those are going away, certainly, well, I'm sure some employee already has their dibs
I
on it. I would love
probably
I
not,
might
man.
next time I'm over there, I might talk to the manager.
No,
And I was wrong. It's not the one in Winston-Salem. It's the Barnes& and Noble at Friendly Center in Greensboro. That's where we were.
I I
I
would say
might go
ask,
next
man.
time we go over there, I might talk to the manager just to go, "Hey, look, I know mass markets are going away. Is there any way like I could put a deposit down on this thing and I'll buy it. I'll buy it."
Yeah. Don't hey, be ready because I have been to, quite a few times. Hey man, like what are you going to do with that? Probably trash it. You can if you'll put it in your car now, you can have it.
Okay, I might
Okay.
try it. Yeah,
I mean,
like I
and
said, I that night we were there. I even told Laura, I was like, man, this thing is cool. I'd love to have this. And now, certainly with doing shows, that would be great for taking, because I would love to start taking, because I have duplicates of DAW books and everything else that I think I could fill up at least a little box with paperback books, sci-fi
So
books and stuff.
I talked to Cassandra about this, and we've been to toy shows, we've been to record shows. Do they do book shows?
Yeah, there are book shows.
I mean, because I'm gonna be like,
I
that
don't
might be a
know of
thing that,
any in this area, but I
yeah,
can tell you I know there's one in Pennsylvania because Dark Ride Dracula went to it
yes.
last year.
If they did one of those around here, I mean, I bring you books
Yeah,
all the time.
you
I
find
have
so
no
much.
doubt that I could fill up a rack, or more, of very weird books that I think would get some people
Mhm.
interested.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's something to think about. I don't know of any active ones in this area. I do know that there are book
Yeah,
shows. Um, they just don't seem to be in our area. As I said, I know there is one that happens. Oh, what am I talking about? Pulp Fest is about to happen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the next couple of weeks.
okay,
Pulp Mortem just was talking about that, and I remember they did a live stream from it last year, and it's coming up within the next couple of months. I think it's sometime over the summer, and it's
alright.
in Pittsburgh. So that would be, I mean, again, for us, that's a road trip. That's a long trip.
It is a trip.
So I don't
Yeah,
know how feasible that is, but you know, that's something I would love for them to. It's kind of like with the retro computer shows.
yeah,
um, there is vintage computing, I think, does multiple shows that are regional, like they do VCF. It's because I think it's called Vintage Computing Festival, and so they do VCF Midwest, they do VCF Southwest, Southeast, Northeast. So they do them regionally. It would be great if Pulp Fest were to become big enough to do regional shows like that. Because yeah, I would certainly try to buy a table space there. Because just with my paperback collection, that as much as it's grown over the last few years, I have, yeah, there's stuff I'm not going to get rid of. There's a lot of stuff that I have read now, or stuff that I'm not actively trying to complete a series or something. Like there are some things I want to keep forever, like those Dungeons and Dragons choose your own adventure games that
yeah.
we looked at, that we talked about a while back. Like, I'll keep those. I want to keep. I kept looking at your Transformers choo- uh, Find Your Fate books yesterday. I was good. I didn't I didn't buy
I,
any.
I might have duplicates of those.
No, okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that offline.
I
But
no, I'm
yeah,
honestly, I'm pretty sure I have some duplicates of those. I'll make
yeah.
sure you get those,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'll show another thing I want to show that I got at the show yesterday was from you. I actually got this from you, and you gave it to me at the end of the show because I was, I picked it up at the beginning of the show. It's Herbie Goes Bananas. Speaking of a
Yeah.
mass market paperback, I wanted this because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I had that. I had that. I remember the bullfighting scene on the
I
cover.
wish you'd
I
have, if
had
you'd have
this in.
said you had that in 5th grade, you could have just taken it. I
No,
mean,
well,
it's
Well,
I
I
mean,
wasn't gonna do that. I mean, actually, at one
uh,
point, I thought there was a guy buying it. I
there were a
remember one.
bunch of people that picked that up, and
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking about the books. I mean, I might still buy a spinner rack for the next toy show and take
yeah.
toy related books, because I mean, I sold a lot of books and magazines yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it was, and it's not hard to, those are very quick and easy for me to pick up. I mean, it was amazing how many people went through those things, and I mean, and like, I'm at a toy show and I'm selling records. I
yeah.
It's, this my eclectic table definitely got
Oh,
some
no, you
people.
have a great variety of products, and people really responded to it, and that's why, like I said, the lessons I took away from this is I would love to have some more vintage stuff out there. I you know, I this was lessons learned from the first show that I've done in 30 years. So I'm excited to do more.
I
I'm
think that table at the North Carolina Underground, your table, it's a very different vibe there,
yeah.
than the
Well,
toy show.
hmm
So
and
I
that's the
think if
thing.
you
It
set
all
that stuff,
depends
you'd be
on what
good.
show you go to. Like I have a
Absolutely.
feeling like I will be honest, if we go to one of the inside pitch shows, whether it's Winston or Hickory or one of those, I have a feeling a lot of the stuff that I took to this show might find a more receptive audience there.
I think it would.
Like the Batman, the DC Direct Batman, the animated series Batmobile, because that's an expensive thing, and I'm not gonna give that away. Like that's
Yeah,
got a price on it. I'm willing to negotiate, but there's definitely a floor to
absolutely.
how low I'm willing to go. And so considering it's still sealed in the box that it came in. So um that is the thing. It all just depends on the show. And as we do more of these, I'm gonna probably pick up what's gonna do better here. I mean, not that we knew what this was, but like if he does this again in the fall, I'm probably gonna take a very different mix of stuff in the fall than I took yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have some more of the magazines and have them, you
Yeah.
know, easier to go through.
Yep.
Take some more books. Easy. I would like, again, like a spinner rack or something that makes them easier to look at and go through. And then, like I said, I have learned a lot about the packaging of toys.
Yep.
Um,
I
I've
did.
seen some packages today that at the flea market that were very nice that I'm sure are on Amazon. I'm just going to look those up and see which one gets
If
the
we
best
don't
rating.
find a spinner rack before that then for paperbacks, I was actually thinking about taking paperbacks to the next show, like just going through taking duplicates out of doll
Yeah,
books and stuff, and um, or books that I've read, and yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, I've read it. I don't know that I need to hold on to this forever.
yep,
Um, but I was actually thinking, I was actually wondering if, just for protection, if you remember baseball card boxes, how you could, they a lot of card boxes,
yeah,
they had the multi-lane ones that had
yeah,
like three, and the ones specifically, I would have to do some measuring, but I'm thinking like if you took a 3-lane uh baseball card box and removed the dividers,
yeah.
that might be the perfect size to just stack, to just
It could be.
put them spine out,
I would be shocked
paperback
if there's
books.
not. I mean, if they have magazine books or boxes and comic book
I'll be
boxes,
honest, buddy, you might be surprised. You might be surprised because it took me forever. It took forever for them to start doing mass market paperback bags.
bags, yeah.
Bags like
I
that's only been a thing within the last few years, and even now they're perfect for a lot of the things we're buying, like the doll
yeah,
books, the Ace doubles, a lot of the old pulpy kind of mass market. But once you get to a certain page count, they don't really make a bag that handles a thicker paperback book. Like once you hit about 300 pages, it's not going to fit in those bags anymore. And I usually end up having to put it in a. They do make pulp and manga size bags, but those are way too big even for a really thick mass market paperback. So I ended up having to fold the edges
yeah,
over and tape them down. Just not as nice. I would love for them to make a bag that would accommodate a thicker mass market paperback. And maybe now that those have gone away, I mean, the way of the dodo, I mean, I maybe there will be a market for people that want to keep those things, their old mass markets, in good shape. So maybe eventually we will get a thicker bag. I don't know.
yeah. I'm looking like as you're talking to try to find something. I think I may have found something on Amazon. I don't know. I'm gonna look at it later. But yeah, I would like to have something that again that makes it easier to like when you take a box of comics, you take the box of comics, you take the lid off, people look through, it's time to go home, you put the lid on, you put it back in the car.
Yep.
I would like to have something very similar for magazines and for the paperbacks and for whatever else. I need something better for my records.
Yeah.
to tote around like that. That crate's not too bad, but I think the 45s, I need something a little bit better, so that's faster and easier for people to flip through. But again, like I said, I if this becomes something that I start to do more and more often, then it might be worth it. But if it's something that we're going to do once or twice a year, I'm fine with Ziploc bags and you know
Well, I was
paper
gonna
boxes.
tell you when you mentioned that, we should definitely have a chat at some point because I would also like to get something a little more branded for keeping loose figures in and stuff than just Ziploc bags. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
Ziploc bags work, that's fine. But I have been thinking about doing um getting because you can buy them and they're very cheap. There are different size plastic bags you can get to where you drop your
Yes.
figure into it, and then you have like a cardboard card that folds down, you just staple it closed, and then you can put your branding on the card at the top. A lot of toy shows, toy stores around here do
Yes.
that with their loose figures.
Yeah.
And I was
I saw the guy that we bought from in Asheboro had that very
yeah, and
well.
see, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think those are super expensive, and even if I was wanting to do it even for just stuff I was keeping, like loose figures I'm keeping, because it has the peg hole, so then I could use the pegboard in the room, in the
Yeah.
comic room to display the figures so that they're
Yeah.
not just in ugly Ziploc bags, but they're in a nice RetroCult branded card with the loose figure in there. Now, they are designed in such a way if you ever want to take him out and do anything with him, you're literally going to rip the bag open, but I'm not
Yeah.
that concerned about it.
I understand that. Yeah. No, well, I think that's definitely a conversation to have at some point for sure. But I mean, I it was a great weekend, man. I
No,
mean,
I had a blast. I
I did too.
definitely, it's like I said, I've been bitten by the bug. I'm kind of wanting to do it again.
It's just I there's just something to be said. I know the toy monster guys say this all the time. There is something to be said about the toy community. It's just such a
Oh, it
positive
is. It
community. I
is.
mean,
It is.
here we are, we're vendors trying to set up and sell things. And here comes Jeff making sure that we're at the right place, making sure that we were comfortable at the table. And like he's like, I mean, if you want to call that a competing vendor, but he's over there laughing with us, joking with us, giving us like advice. And everybody there was just it seemed to be kind, and that's just what I like about it the most, man. I don't know of a better community than the toy community, to be honest with you. They just
No,
seem awesome.
everyone I've met so far in, just watching the guys on YouTube, like Pixel Dan, Retro
Yep.
Slacker, Dark Ride Dracula, Gen X Jason, these are all people I eventually want to meet in person because they just seem genuinely nice. And then, like going to the show this time, and even going to the show as a customer,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always very friendly. I've never it's never ceased to amaze me. Like I've been to so many shows where and I would say Beardy Weirdy falls into this category as a comic
Absolutely.
vendor that does this. Is
Yeah.
I've been to shows before where I'll be talking to them and looking through their stuff, and I'll go, I'm looking for this. Do you have this? And he'll literally direct me to another dealer in the show. Go, hey, I think that guy over there. I saw that thing earlier today
Yep.
over there. Go check him out. Yeah,
Beardy is he's one of a kind, man.
yeah, he is.
He's definitely one of those people that you're not going to find a lot of out there because um some of the folks at some of those shows we've been to are not as kind as
Oh
he
no,
is.
yeah, exactly.
And I love buying stuff from him. And honestly, sometimes even if I don't really need anything, I'm buying something from him just because it's him.
Well,
And I
I
want
can
him to
I can
stay in
say
business.
that, I mean, the comic dealer community has a probably well earned reputation for being a little prickly. Yeah, but Beardy definitely breaks that mold. I would also say the same about Mikey at Totally Awesome Comics. That dude
Yeah,
has been
Mikey's
nothing
awesome.
but great. And then, John at Parts Unknown, I'll never stop singing that guy's praises. If you want it,
Yeah.
he'll find it. He's got great. I mean, honestly, going to Parts Unknown in Greensboro, it's worth just pulling up a chair and listening to John, because the guy's been in the comic industry either in one in the he knows a lot of the greats from the comic industry that he met over the years, because he's been a dealer since like the 70s, the late 70s, I think, is when he first really started getting into it. He's one of the old hands in the business. And like, I've honestly thought about asking him if I could come just record him telling his
Well,
stories.
why don't we? I mean, you seem to know him a little better.
We should
Why
try to
don't
get him
we?
on an episode. Definitely. I
Yeah,
know where
let's
you're
see if
going.
he'll
Yeah.
do an episode with us. We could just go over there and record at his convenience, obviously, whatever
Yeah.
that would be.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
No,
All right, well,
that
we're
would be
way
great,
good
because
Lord, we're way over time.
that would be an amazing episode. Just to,
Yeah,
if we just asked him to talk about Alex Toth, his Alex Toth stories are amazing. They're amazing. So, you know what?
yeah.
We're definitely going to do that. We're going to put a pin
I've
in
written it
that.
down. It's right here on my
Yeah,
notes.
yeah.
So
I don't want to end the shout outs before I give a shout out to Jay and Steven at Sailfish in Greensboro.
they're
Those are
awesome, man. Yeah.
those guys are the best. I actually did some trade with them for some for some Invincible back issues. They treated me completely fairly. It was amazing. Amazing experience. They even let me come to the store before they were even open, because he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be here waiting for the UPS guy anyway. Why don't we don't open till 11? Why don't you come around 10? And that way we can just talk, and I can go through your books and every." And it was a great experience. I loved it.
That's awesome, man. Well, I guess we should wrap it up. So thanks to all the people out there that listen to the Retro Cult. We appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time. And happy hunting this week.
Yep. Have a good one.